Joseph's story is one of the most inspiring journeys in all of Scripture. It is a story of betrayal, hardship, resilience, and ultimately, redemption. But most importantly, it is a story of a man who never lost sight of the vision God gave him, even when his reality seemed to completely contradict it. Joseph was just a teenager when God planted something inside of him. Through a dream, Joseph saw himself in a place of leadership, a place of influence, a place of honor. But shortly after that dream, Joseph's life took a turn for the worse. His own brothers, jealous of the favor their father showed him, betrayed him. They stripped him of his coat of many colors, a symbol of his father's love, and threw him into a pit. Imagine the fear, the confusion, the heartbreak Joseph must have felt. And yet that pit was not the end of his story. God was still with him. Joseph was sold into slavery and taken to Egypt, where he ended up in the house of a man named Potiphar. There, Joseph had every reason to be bitter. He had every reason to let anger and resentment control him. But instead, he chose to serve faithfully. He worked with excellence. He remained honest and trustworthy. And because of that, Potiphar put him in charge of his entire household. But just when things seemed to be turning around, Joseph was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and thrown into prison. And once again, Joseph faced a moment where it would have been easy to give up, to lose faith, to stop believing the dream. But he didn't. Even in prison, Joseph kept doing what he always did, serving, loving, and staying faithful to God. And once again, God gave him favor in the eyes of man. The prison warden trusted Joseph so much that he put him in charge of the other prisoners. Here's what we learn from Joseph's story. Your location does not determine your calling. You might feel like you are in a pit right now. You might feel like life has thrown you into a situation you didn't ask for, one that feels unfair and painful. But if you keep your heart right, if you keep praising God in the middle of it, you will still walk in His favor, right where you are. Joseph teaches us that the pit, Potiphar's house, and even the prison are not your final destination. They are part of the process. Each of these places was preparing Joseph for the palace. The pit taught him humility. Potiphar's house taught him leadership and stewardship. The prison taught him patience, faith, and dependence on God. And maybe this is where you are right now. You feel stuck in a season that doesn't look anything like the dream God gave you. But this is where you have to make a decision. Will you complain or will you praise? Will you get bitter or will you stay faithful? Will you give up or will you keep pressing forward? Before we go any further, if this is speaking to you, if you love hearing these kinds of motivational, faith-building stories, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. It helps us share messages of hope with more people and ensures you don't miss future videos like this one. Joseph's faithfulness eventually positioned him exactly where God wanted him to be. In prison, he interpreted the dreams of two fellow prisoners, and years later, that moment opened the door for him to stand before Pharaoh. In a single day, Joseph went from being a prisoner to becoming the second most powerful man in Egypt. And when the moment came where his brothers, the very ones who betrayed him, stood before him, Joseph had the power to get revenge. But instead, he forgave them. He told them, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Joseph understood that every hardship he endured was part of God's divine plan, not just for his life, but to save many others. This is the posture we are called to take in our own lives. Your current situation may not look like the vision God gave you, but just like Joseph, you need to remember that the pit is not permanent. The prison is not permanent. The pain is not permanent. God is using all of it to position you for the place He has called you to. So don't stop praising Him now. Worship through the heartbreak. Be faithful when no one is watching. Love people even when they mistreat you. Keep your integrity, even when it would be easier to compromise. Because how you handle this season will determine how quickly you move to the next one. Joseph's story reminds us that God is never in a hurry, but He is always on time. And when your time comes, It will happen suddenly. You won't have to force it, manipulate it, or beg for it. God will open the door and elevate you, and the very people who doubted you will see the faithfulness of God in your life. So lift your head today. Don't despise where you are. It's shaping you. Don't waste this season. Let it grow you. And most importantly, don't stop worshiping. Your praise is a declaration that you trust God even when you don't understand Him. Your faithfulness is proof that you believe the dream He gave you is still alive. Just like Joseph, your palace is coming. Your breakthrough is coming. The season of vindication is coming. And when it does, you will look back and realize that every pit, every betrayal, every lonely night, and every tear was worth it, because it brought you into alignment with God's purpose for your life. So take courage, keep going, and keep praising. The story isn't over yet, and if God did it for Joseph, He can do it for you.